All right, folks, thank you for joining us. This is an Ox Billiards stream. Tonight's match is between Alex Buzak and Michael Liao. They are doing a race to 7 and 9 ball, winner break, BCA format. My name is Zach Ross, joined here in the booth, Bree Clark. How you doing tonight, Bree?
Doing very well. Thank you for having me.
Always a pleasure. So it looks like Alex won the lag here. So he's going to be breaking off the first rack.
How are you feeling about the two competitors tonight?
Feeling pretty good. This should be a pretty good matchup. I actually played Mike Liao last night in APA, 8 ball and 9 ball, and he kind of smoked me. So
Okay.
So yeah, I know Alex Buzak is a really strong safety player, as well as a shot maker. So should be a good match.
Now, is this 9 ball on the spot or 1 ball?
This is 1 on the spot, so just classic 9 ball.
Okay.
Going for the cut break here.
Looks like we have the 6 that dropped.
Yeah, unfortunately got the 4-5 tied up. So any leave that he has for the 3, he's going to want to think about possibly breaking that out. But the 1 doesn't really have an open pocket at the moment.
What do you think here? Probably some kind of safety? Maybe a 2-way?
Yeah, I think if there's enough room, he can sort of bank the 1 to the top rail and then slide the cue ball down towards the 3-9. But he could also kind of go for that bank and go for a little bit of a 2-way here.
All right. Tried cutting it. See where he leaves it. Looks like it's going to be pretty good. I don't think it got behind that 7, though.
Yeah, Mike has a couple options here. Can either try to sort of reverse bank the 1 and send the cue ball behind the 5-4. I think that's a good cluster to try and hide behind. Otherwise, just sort of banking the 1 back between the 3 and the 9, I kind of like. See how aggressive he wants to be here.
All right.
Yeah, I went for the reverse.
Looks like a pretty friendly leave for Alex.
Yeah, I think he'll be able to run this one up into the corner with some follow and get a pretty good position on the 2. I prefer that over the side, just because the cue ball would be running away from the intended line on the 2. Yeah,
Just
right
slightly
idea.
missed. Yeah. Good angle on that too as well. Just slightly missed.
Because ideally, he sort of wants to be over the center line on the 3, so he could possibly stun out to run the cue into the 4-5. Otherwise, there's like some pretty good safety opportunities on the 4-5, so you don't necessarily need to break it out.
Alex is probably thinking, what's the best way to make this and get back on that too? Michael probably looks like he's putting bottom on this.
Oh, ends up breaking out the issue of this rack, so pretty good opportunity for Alex to sort of clean up here. Because that was the one thing preventing the run out, but now there's really nothing preventing it. I'd probably bring the cue ball out, maybe like a little bit quarter middle table here, so he has enough angle on the 2 to get middle table for the 3. Because you don't want to be dead straight on this.
Yeah, just a little harder than.
I like it.
Yeah,
that's perfect.
A good angle. All right, so he's going for bottom. That should kick him off that rail. Give him a good angle on that 3.
Came a little high on it, but I don't see a problem here. He can just run the bottom rail and be in good position for the 4.
Yeah, play it with just a little bit of follow. Come off that rail and come right back down for the 4.
Yeah, totally.
Probably wants to be on the right side just so he can kind of stun it into the follow-up for the 5. Of course, he could play this. There's a lot of options.
Yeah, I think he played that ball inside because he wanted to cut the angle off. And I had this problem too. You put a little too much inside in, and it actually sort of obscures the line that you're supposed to be hitting the object ball. And I often miss that exact same way. So I've been trying to really shore up how much inside or like how much sort of English you're putting on the cue ball, because it is a different aiming sight.
So it looks like we have a bit of a defense here. Just moving that cue ball up the table. I think he got behind that 4 ball enough.
Yeah, I'm thinking a kick here. Ideally, he just sort of kicks the 3 to the side rail and leaves the cue ball close to the 9. But it's kind of a very precise hit on that 3. I imagine if he hits it, the cue ball kind of come back out towards the dot or the spot on the table. But he's going to go 2 rails instead. Okay.
Yeah, he's going the bottom right 2 rails, try and kick it from behind. Great shot.
Yep. It's a really good leave.
And that 9 looks to be covering it pretty well.
It looks jumpable. I'm not sure how strong Mike's jump game is, but it is only like a fraction of the 9, so this is sort of an ideal jump if you're able to do it. Otherwise, you might go for a little bit of a swerve here.
Yeah, I was thinking like maybe a little bit of a light masse. Okay, yeah, he looks like he's just trying to swerve it.
And almost made it.
Yeah, that was a good try. Can you get behind that 9? And it looks like it leaked a little bit, so Alex will be able to see this 3. What do you think?
I really like rolling this up and then rolling the cue ball behind the 5.
Yeah.
It's basically a straight bank, but you just hit it with follow. So you're hitting sort of the left half of the 3 and just slow rolling it to get behind the 5.
It's a full table shot. It's very touchy. Have to really control your speed, but this should be a pretty good safety if he can pull it off.
It's looking pretty good.
Yep. Great.
Might have leaked a little bit, but it's definitely better than the open shot, so I think Mike might have to be doing another swerve here.
Now that was really good cue ball control right there. Hitting it really more full than, which is always better than hitting it too thin. That way your cue ball doesn't keep all of that speed.
Exactly. Yeah. If you would have hit it thinner, the momentum would have actually brought that cue out, and I think he would have had a much clearer shot here.
Is he going for the kick again? Yep.
Oh. It's not going to get a rail, though.
Probably would have gotten there if that 5 hadn't have been or that 4 hadn't have been blocking, but so it'll be ball in hand for Alex. What do you like here?
I think maybe taking the 3 in the side. Well, he likes. It seems like he likes long shots. I actually don't mind this. Taking the 3 in the corner and just rolling it up so you have the 4 in the upper left corner. That way you're kind of just giving yourself the best chance. I think if you went in the side, it's a little bit more of a finesse leave with the cue. With this, he just goes straight in. Yeah, it's perfect for the 4. I think he might have wanted a little bit more angle.
Yeah, this put him potentially on the wrong side of that. After making the 4, it's going to be a much more difficult shot
I think I just accept playing short side on the 5 here and play the 5 into the upper right corner. So just kind of roll up, get close to the rail. Yeah, just like this.
Yeah. It's a good improvise right there.
And I don't even mind being on the rail with these types of shots. I know players, and the way you're taught is sort of keep the cue ball off the rail. But for something like this, where the 7 is wide open, I really don't mind just kind of rolling this up because he's going to come off the short rail anyway and get a pretty good position for the 7.
Yeah, and this looks like a pretty closable rack at this point. Great shot.
Just draw this back a little bit, leave himself for the 8, and go back and forth for the 9.
Yeah, just a really technical, very nice draw. Soft draw even. Doesn't have to crush this or anything.
Yeah, it's almost like a stop shot, and you just draw back a little bit. Or
He's
okay,
opting to go down the rail.
force follow. Ends up getting a pretty good angle here. This actually works great. As long as he makes his 8 ball, his cue ball is going to get natural position for the 9 in the same pocket. Speed control, pretty important here, but I think just making the shot, he should have a good chance. Putting draw on it, though, risking the side pocket scratch, but
That's a
no,
good shot.
he's got a good. It's going to end up short side, but good angle.
Yeah, very good angle. Do you like floating this in or just hitting it with a little bit more speed in case you miss?
I would just put sort of regular speed on this. I don't want to baby this. I think it's fine. It's a good shot.
Out. Yep. So Alex is up 1 game.
1-0. They are doing winner break format. So yeah, it was a good safety play from Alex, and Mike not being able to find a rail after that 3 ball or 4 ball rather. No, 3. He was trying to
Yep.
kick it 3. Yeah. So that's kind of the only mistake that he made there.
I think you know, in games like this, you really have to you have to be very confident in your shots. You have to think about, where am I going to leave this for my opponent if I miss? Because you know, when you miss really early on in the rack, where you're shooting at the 3 and then your opponent runs out the last 6 balls, it can get pretty demoralizing. So I think for Michael, he really needs to. He's probably thinking like, okay, when I get back to the table, how can I kind of change up my game to leave Alex in a bad spot? We'll see how this break goes.
Pretty solid break. Took the wing ball
There's
as assumed, but fortunately that one.
Yeah, that's
Even with the last break, the 1 sort of got away from him, so I think he just needs to tighten the break up a little bit so it either goes into the side pocket or it rolls up to a corner. Here he's going to be looking for a safe. This one's really touchy because
Yeah, it looks like that 2, the 1-2 combo. I don't know if I'd want to put it on that side of the 1. So really having to think of where you want to put this cue ball for the push. But he might be actually.
yeah, I wouldn't push here just because he has a clear view on it. But yeah, to your point, just like sort of
That
playing it
2
safe.
in.
But he took the 2 combo on, and has a little bit of a view for the 1. Not able to pot it, but could try another safe where he kind of just banks the 1 straight up and straight back, and the cue ball will stay on the top short rail.
Looks like he's putting bottom on this. Wow.
Oh, that was cheeky.
That was very, that was impressive.
Little carom off of the inside of the 3. Yeah, that was clever. Fortunately, it just settles up in the pocket, so really the first opportunity for Michael here to get a run going. I actually think I like to take this one rail first on the short rail.
Yeah, that's...
That way you kind of just swing it out and have the 3 in the upper left corner. If you try to sort of stun off of this, it could get a little... Yeah, I mean, that's sort of my first inclination to do that, but that's what I was fearing.
Yeah, you're hitting that so hard. It's difficult to control where that cue ball is going to end up.
And it's wild because I see that shot from here, but when I'm on the table, I probably would have shot it the exact same way he did. You know what I mean? Like, it's really interesting to have a different sort of view that you, when you're on the table, you don't have.
Yeah.
Right? Like, we don't have this view when we're on the table. So, pretty good safety, though. I think it's a smart move. Doesn't want to be too aggressive, especially when he didn't have the run-out connector.
No, that was definitely the right safety shot. Left him full table. That 9 probably is blocking a lot of that 3. However, he could go rail first. But, you know, really making Alex think, like, how does he want to leave this? Looks like he's putting a lot of right on this.
Yeah, so made decent contact.
Where's that
The
9?
9 is not going to help him out, but
I think just another safety here, kind of like that previous shot, getting behind that 5. In the previous rack, you just play this with a little bit of left. Get behind that 7. That 3 comes out to the middle of the table and blocks it.
yeah, I like that. You're not doing too much with the cue ball or the 3 itself. Just kind of float up behind the 7.
It's all about that cue control, though.
I don't mind this. Obviously, I think he wanted the 3 to be behind the 9 or closer to the rail, but again, it's not a very open pocket, so and he's going to have to be sort of jacked over the 5.
Yeah, trying to control your shot when you're over a ball is already difficult, especially when it's a longer shot like this. So it looks like he might try and cut this in. He's looking pretty thin on this shot. No, he's just playing it behind the 9. It's a great safety.
He got mostly there. I don't think Mike can really get by the 9 unless he swerves again. The only issue is swerving into this shot. Guaranteed hitting a rail is not there just because it is kind of an open space.
Even the kick, that 6 looks like it's blocking.
Yeah, he could take it going this way. He's going to need to throw a little bit of left on it. So I think I would aim sort of close to the 8 and just put a little bit of like top left.
Yeah, open that angle up.
Just like that.
Wow.
What a shot.
Good shot. Michael being adaptive. So now he's got to figure out this 5.
I think I would try and stun this out. Bring the cue ball pretty much where the 5 is. It was pretty touchy though with the distance.
I feel like this is one of those shots you want to practice over and over. Just get it right.
I mean, this lead for the 6 is pretty decent, but fortunately not making the pot.
So if Alex goes into this our left pocket, it's going to put him away from that 6, especially with all that traffic over on that side of the table.
There is a line that I think maybe barely goes around the 8. So he hits with a little bit of bottom left to make the 5 in the lower left corner. He comes between the 8-9, sort of the cue ball sort of close to the point in the lower right corner and around the 8. But this is like super high finesse situation. And he's going to settle for the safe because that's the smarter choice. Anytime that you know you're not going to be able to get onto the next shot, why go for a hero shot when it doesn't really make sense? I think I try and bank this 5 up to the top rail and just maybe leave the cue ball center, so you're kind of center. Or you can sort of hit it soft and roll the cue ball up behind the 6.
Yeah, you just don't want to follow it. You leak that out, and it's... Yeah, that was a very good shot.
I feel like in a lot of safety battles, less is more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that was exactly the right speed. You don't want to overhit those just because you don't want that cue ball popping out. Very good control by Michael. So it looks like Alex is going to try and jump this. Good contact. However, he's going to leave that in front of the pocket.
All right, so good opportunity here for Mike.
What do you think? Just a little bit of right, bring it straight up the table for the 6.
Yeah, he's going to need him to leave himself on the bottom side of the table for the 7, unless he wants to settle for a bank in the side pocket. I think if he actually stays on the left side of the table, he's got a pretty good look.
Looks like he...
Now he overran it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if he had a little bit of a back cut for the 6, he could get down for the 7, which he still might be able to do, but this is going to be a little touchy. He might actually be sort of running into the 7 off of the rail with the cue ball if he decides to back cut this. But it seems like he's going to go between the 8 and the 9.
That's what I was looking at. He looks like he's almost trying to make this in the right corner.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
And he made it.
Great shot.
So, yeah. Unfortunately, the 7 does not go in the lower right now because the 9's in the way. So he may consider sort of floating this behind the 8, floating the cue ball. It's going to be kind of touchy, though.
See, I would think like a reverse bank or something. Yep, that's pretty much what he did.
And he made it.
Oh,
I didn't make. He
goodness.
scratched, though. Yeah.
Great try. Just a couple of mistakes are costing Michael what potentially could be a second rack. It's not too hard to close it out here. You just follow this a little bit, come off that rail for a straight shot to the 8 with a stop to the 9.
Yeah, this should be pretty routine. This is kind of one of those scenarios where you just don't overthink it. The 9 goes in either pocket, so if he happens to have to stun across or anything like that, still got an open view.
Yeah, right now he's definitely looking very composed. Really good stroke on his cue. With this, it's just a very nice... You don't have to be super hard with the stop shot and just take that 9 into the left corner. Yeah. Left himself a little bit more angle than I think he wanted. Still very makeable, though. see if he does another soft shot. Right. Looks like Michael might need a bridge for this shot. It being in the middle of the table. Of course, he is right-handed, so he will not need a bridge. And just like
Struck that one confidently.
Yep.
He knew and gave him the look, so he needed to take it. Thank you all for joining us this evening. David Saltzman in the chat, Kyle in the chat. What's up, guys? Anyone else watching? Let us know what you're up to tonight. Pretty good match here going so far. It's 1-1. Mike Liao here to break. If you are watching and interested in being on this stream, Ox Billiards membership is the first step into getting in here. Ox offers a pretty robust membership program here. You get 24-hour access to the club. Mondays and Wednesdays are reserved for members only. You also get special offers and events that Ox hosts. You get first word about it. So
I also get to play on these beautiful tables.
yeah, 8 9-foot Rassons with Brunswick Centennial cloth, shark gray color. So yeah, trying to replicate WNT Matchroom standards here at Ox Billiards. They also have 4 snooker tables that just got refelted. So if you're into snooker, it's a wonderful time to test your mettle on those tables.
So Michael made the 7 in the side pocket. However, he did hook himself. So he's going to push out, hit that 3. We have a very long table shot for this one for Alex.
Push out was definitely the right call. I think I would have banked the 3 sort of into the 4-5 and created a little bit of a cluster. Anytime that I do a push out, I like to try and obscure the table run out, if that makes sense. So even like sending the 2 into the 8 might have been an okay choice, but leaving distance here I think is fine.
Is that one gonna? Yep, it popped right out. So Alex probably hoping that that one didn't hit that center point to pop that one back out towards the middle of the table. Left Michael with a cut shot.
I think he rushed it a little bit.
Yeah. It was good. It was a very good attempt, especially with where that cue ball is sitting right now.
Yeah, he would have been pretty sweet for the 2. I think just like as soon as his hand was planted, he kind of went for the shot as opposed to sort of dialing in the angle. So just hit it a little bit too thick and caught the long rail.
It looks like Alex is looking at that 4-5 in the middle, trying to see what the best strategy is to work around that. So he's gonna probably draw this back a little bit. He's got that 2 in the sides. Play this just like that 7 on the previous rack. Just gonna come off that rail for that 3. I don't think that 4 goes past the 9 if he wants to draw or something.
Yeah, let's take a look and see real quick if it does go. I don't think it does. He could go for a 4-9 combo, but it's a little risky.
That's something I would be looking at.
When the cheese is calling, you know?
Oh man, I love seeing those lined up shots like that. I'm like, this will look really good on the camera.
Bree likes cheese. I'm shocked. Yeah, he tried to break out that 5 to give himself a little bit better look on the 4, but unfortunately the 9 kind of came back and obscured that view anyway. But now the problem is the 4 goes in the left corner, so this is a pretty good opportunity for Mike.
Yeah, he's just gonna play this with some left on it. Looks like maybe top left, and then yeah.
He wanted to be a little higher.
Yep. Yeah, now he's on an angle going away from that 5. It makes it a little bit more difficult. Definitely don't want to...
He could try to run it with inside and maybe clip the 6, but even then,
Yeah.
I feel like you're going to hit that 6 kind of full.
Yeah, that 6 is now the problem for this shot, for sure. And any way you're doing this, you're going away from that next ball. So it looks like he's gonna...
Yeah, one for the pot, and this is okay. He sees a piece of the 5, which he might actually be able to make this in the lower corner if he wants to feel aggressive about it. If he actually misses this on the pro side, the 5 ball would end up sort of short rail.
That was a
But
great cut.
amazing shot.
Wow.
Yeah, when I played him last night, he was making shots like that, and I was like, yeah.
And he got a very good leave on that 6.
Yeah, he's been playing really well. So
Yeah, that was a quality shot right there.
and that was a necessary shot. Like, if he missed that and it hung, you know, Alex is back at the table. But for now, he's controlling it, and pretty good optics here from the 6, 8, 9.
What do you like here? I would think something along the lines of following and coming off that rail.
I would stun it just like he did, but he ended up missing. But
Did he?
getting pretty fortunate. Yeah, because he's
Okay.
perfect for the 8, and you just draw
Yeah.
basically back to the point that you're at now. But yeah, unfortunately, just caught it a little thick.
Looks like he sort of rushed that shot again too. He's not spending too much time down behind the cue. I think that's could be something that he can work on.
Yeah, just being a little more patient.
Yeah.
Because he was patient with the 5, but then not as patient with the 6 or not as patient with the 1 earlier in
Yeah.
the rack. So I think just recognizing your rhythm and sticking to it is very beneficial.
Alright, so Alex is lining up. Looks like he might be,
Going for a little bit of a swerve here.
yeah, going. Can't tell if he's going rail. He tried jumping over that 8.
All right, so even though Mike missed the 6, got a fortunate roll on the miss. Have another opportunity here to close out the rack.
And this is one of those runouts. It's, you don't want to overthink this. It's a very easy.
Yeah, really nice leave here for the 9.
All right. And good out to make it a 2-1 in favor of Michael.
For those of you new to the channel, if you're just tuning in, this is Ox Billiards. We're here in Seattle, Washington. Bringing you all sorts of cue sports here in this venue. We've got snooker, we have a hay ball, Chinese 8-ball table, which is basically a hybrid between a pool table and a snooker table. And then we have Rasan tables here. So if you're in the Seattle area or visiting soon, come check us out. They are open to the public Thursday through Sunday. Those of you tuned in the channel, hit the like, hit the subscribe, ring the bell as well to be notified when we go live.
Yeah, we do these how often? Twice a month, I believe.
Yeah, twice a month. Try to squeeze some extras in there if I can. But I know the members really like to get their time on the table. And some non-members as well. But being part of the Ox family has been great. Solid break here from Mike. The 1 kind of got away from him, but the 8 and the 4 are pretty good blockers for a safety.
Yeah, I feel like this is one of those go off the right side of the 1, push it towards the 3, and then have that cue ball go behind that 8 for. I mean, you could even bring that 1 up towards that cluster, the 6, the 4, and the 9, but...
Yeah, I think he went for what you said. Overhit it a little bit, but this is pretty good.
Yeah, I wouldn't be mad at all about this. Even if Alex could see this 1 fully, it's such a difficult cut, especially to hold it for that 3. So, very good position for Michael to leave that pair of balls there.
Yeah, I think he might be able to get a little bit of sliver on this 1, which he can then sort of send the cue ball. Oh, it's another masse here, so anything goes with this sort of shot. Oh, I went for the jump.
Wow.
Okay.
Look at that.
Yeah. Way to figure that one out.
Put that on, clip that and put that on YouTube.
ESPN, 4K HD.
Alex very calmly walking around the table like, yeah, I definitely meant to Z-Bank jump shot that.
Yeah, that was pretty slick.
So now he's got a really straight shot on that 3 down the table. Could play a little bit of follow, take that 4 into the side pocket. Looks like he's going to stun this, though.
No, I think you're right initially. He's going to go with the roll.
Yeah, he was trying to roll it.
Just caught the rail first. Cloth is pretty slick, but not that slick to be hitting the long rail that far out, unfortunately. So just little mistakes here, bringing Mike back to the table.
Yeah, and this not a difficult time to get that 4 into the side. That 5 is hiding behind the 6, so you got to figure out a way to deal with that. But
He could settle sort of for like a sharp cut on the 5 in the lower left corner if he ends up leaving himself middle table. Or he could actually take the bank in the top corner, but left himself a little funny here.
yeah, this is. I think that you can come. I think that there's enough angle to come off of that rail, come back to the center of the table. It's just. It's one of those shots, if you overshoot it even by a little bit, you're going to be on the wrong side of that 5, and there's defense there for sure, but in order to cut it, you really have to play it exactly how it's needed. Let's see.
Yeah, I think if he hits this smooth, you shouldn't have too much problem with the speed, but really just focusing on potting the ball.
Yeah. Looks like just a stun shot.
He actually ended up pretty good here. I like this. This is a good angle. Now what he wants to do is swing below the 9 and go 2 rails. So you kind of want to hit this a little bit of a draw, but you're not intending to draw. You just want the cue ball to sort of roll to the right and around that 9. His left, our right.
Really taking his time, thinking about what he wants to do for the shot.
Yeah, see, that was great speed.
Yeah.
And he actually...
Did he get it?
No, but... Yeah.
Probably glad he did not make that.
Yeah. If I was to say I'm fine with missing that shot, yeah, 100% I'm fine with missing that shot.
Yeah, he's probably walking away from that table pretty happy about that. So that 7 fully covering. I don't even know if he can kick at this.
I think he's going for the jumper again.
Yeah, he can't. That 7's covering the angle to come at it from this bottom rail that we're looking at right now. So
his jump cue's deceiving because it's every time he grabs it, it looks like his normal cue.
Yeah.
But it's like a little bit longer than the one that I have. So I don't really know if I like the jump here. It's so close.
Yeah. This is a very. I would not be happy if I was at the table right now trying to shoot this.
I mean, I think he's going to have to jump kick it.
He looks like he's going to masse around this.
No, I think it's going to be sort of he's going to try to jump that edge of the 7 and go into the rail first.
Okay.
Oh, no, you're right. Well, touche.
I mean, I am a 6 for a reason, right?
Good contact, made a rail, so...
Yeah, that spin from the masse really helps open up that angle to make contact with that 5. So now Michael's left with another decision, probably going to play safe over here. There is potential of a 2-way, however, I think he's just going to play it, yeah.
Yeah, I went for the bank. He's been hitting these banks so sweet.
Yeah, that was a very confident shot.
It was almost the same shot that he had on the 7 a couple of racks back where he ended up scratching in the corner. Sort of very similar angle, but this time he controlled it better.
So now he's got a decision. Do you want to go up the table? Well,
I think I would take this in the corner just because it feels better than being precise on the side. But yeah, that's the worry.
Yeah.
If you send it up table, you basically get almost the same position, a little bit better because you fall on the 7 better. But with him hitting the point now.
Yeah, this looks like a straight in shot for that 6. So probably I would say probably a stop shot here. I don't think I'd want to draw this. I'd want more of an angle on that 7.
Yeah, if anything, just come back like 3 or 4 inches or something.
Yeah, I don't want to go too hard on this.
Yeah, that's pretty nice.
Then you can just probably draw off this right into the center of the table for that 8. Leave yourself enough angle to come down the rail or down the table off that top rail.
Yeah, it really depends where he ends up here. If he ends up sort of middle table, he can actually draw off of the 8 to come off the long rail and bring the cue down. But if he falls a bit more flat on it, he will have to follow. So like this, he's going to have to follow it.
Yep.
But if he was on sort of the left middle sided, he could go 8 in the corner and then off of this long rail to draw it back into position. But either way is pretty good. This is a wide open 8, so honestly just make the ball. Cue ball path will just kind of take you to the 9.
So natural.
Yeah.
It's so natural. Yeah, great follow. Just coming off those 2 rails. Nice and easy angle for that 9. Just float this in. All right, with that, Alex ties the game 2-2.
Let us know in the chat. Game's been going back and forth. Let us know your predictions. What do you think the outcome of this match will be? Can't offer you a prize, but I can offer you a round of applause if you guess the correct score at the end of this game.
We'll give you a shout out and kudos.
Yeah, exactly.
I predict it's going to be a wonderful time.
Yes. I think just sort of based on the way this game is going, I would not be surprised if it's Hill.
Yeah. No, I definitely like them both keeping their composure. They're not taking crazy shots. They're both very calculated right now, very dialed into plenty of defenses on both sides. It's a good game for sure.
So Kyle in the chat guessing that it's going to be 7-6 Mike. Let us know if you're rooting on Alex and what his score might be.
I gotta say, Mike is a very lovely individual. He was very nice before we started this match. Came up and said hi, and very, very well dressed.
Yeah, he's a really nice dude. Even when he was demolishing me yesterday, and I was incredibly salty, but he was very composed about it. So yeah, he's a good dude. Alex is a good dude too. Yeah, I like to showcase players that love the sport, looking to improve. It's kind of what our MO here is at Ox Billiards. This is a beautiful break.
Yeah, that's that 2-8. 3 6s.
Yeah, the 4 was a little unfortunate. 3-6, like you were saying, is a little tied up. And again, the 1 is kind of floating to the top rail. So it just means that he's not quite getting as much of a cut on the 1 when he's hitting with that sort of soft draw, because the 1 should be sort of going more towards the side pocket.
Mm-hmm.
But it's catching above the rail and sending it up.
So this could be a good defense potential. I mean, you can send that 1 towards the bottom of the table, and that cue ball can actually go behind the 4. We'll see how he plays this. Oh, hit that a little funny. Left that 1 in a very cuttable spot. That I wouldn't be too worried. That 3-6 is definitely sketchy. So Mike is going to have to figure out how to approach that if he does indeed pot this 1.
Yeah, Kyle, I think he tried to get the cue ball behind the 7, but I think he just hit the 1 maybe a little too thin, and he didn't get enough speed on the cue ball, so this is the outcome.
All right, good. That was a good shot. Very confident on that bottom.
Safety here is a little awkward, because if he tries to send the 3 behind the 7-9, he is going to run into the 6.
Yeah.
But I think if you do have enough angle to bank the 3 onto the other side of the 7-9, that's what I would do. And just kind of roll this up. Yep. That's not bad.
That's definitely not bad.
That's the best outcome from that hit for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely don't think he meant for that cue ball to follow outside of that 6. He may have wanted that 3 to come sit in between the 5 and the 6. But as far as leaves go, this is definitely a good leave for Mike.
Yeah, Alex needs to figure out what he's going to do here. If he shoots away from the 3 like this, kind of running, going towards the pocket. Pretty touchy here. Nah, he's not going to like that. Gave Mike an angle. It's a little steep, but if he can execute this, he'll be sitting pretty for the 4.
Even looking at this shot, I would be looking at another defense opportunity here. I mean, there's a very easy hitting this almost a stop shot with just a little bit of right to get behind that 6, and that 3 ball goes down to the rail down here. This is just such a deep cut. Yeah, I mean that was a great shot.
I see. I mean, I think I would have taken your shot too, because you send the 3 to the bottom rail, and you can leave the cue ball right where it is now, or even behind the 9, so you have two object balls to kind of play with. But I mean, that was an excellent shot, and you got pretty good position here. So getting back for the 5, don't really see a problem here. Just make the ball. Cue ball will naturally come back across table.
Yeah. There's a very small percentage of getting behind that 7, but it's very natural to get on a good angle for this 5.
I just overcut it.
Looks like that 5 or that 4 goes into the side.
Yeah, so hit that one a little bit on the pro side. Came up above the 7. If he hit it the way he's supposed to, he would have definitely fell behind or below the 7, as Kyle's pointing out in the chat. But I think he just sort of decelerated on that shot, because the cue ball sort of changed its trajectory once it hit the 4. If he would have hit it with a little more power, it would have stayed the line on the tangent.
Now, for those of us who are unaware, what is the pro side of the ball?
It means that you're overcutting, because if you undercut a ball into a pocket, the tendency is for the ball to rattle and kind of sit. But if you overcut into a pocket, it'll hit above the pocket line and not stick in the pocket.
I see.
So the chance of you leaving an open shot is a little bit less. It's just referred to as hitting on the pro side of the ball.
So Alex not making that cut down to the corner ends up giving Mike a pretty easy shot to get back on that 5.
Now, would you play this with follow or draw?
Follow, for sure. I would want to follow just a little bit. Probably with a little bit of left. That was a very hard shot. Very, very hard shot. Yeah, I would have wanted just a little bit of follow with a little bit of left. Come off the close rail up there.
Come off the short rail and just get sort of center table, kind of where the line is.
Yeah.
Crossing it, but just kind of hit that one a little funny. Hit a little too much power. I think he had the extension on his cue too, so that might have.
All right, so I see a 4-9 combo into the side pocket. How are you feeling about this?
A little bubblegum cheese here, yeah.
A little cheddar cheese.
A little big league chew cheese. Yeah, I mean, you have a free swing at this. I think you might as well take it.
You know, I mean,
because the 4 will get a little squirrely, so might as well just go for it. Oh no, you just okay. Went for the 4 itself.
It's a great leave behind the 7 and the 9. Definitely easy to kick at this though. You can go one rail or come behind it for the 2 on the short rail right there, but not a bad defensive position for Alex to put Michael in.
I think I like the 2 rail here. The 1 rail is okay, but just a little risk running into that corner, but
ooh, is it gonna get there? Yeah, I think
he left it open.
Yep, I do. I think Michael's hoping for that 4 just to go a little bit past the center of that pocket. So now it's just a matter of getting back on the 5. Shouldn't be too difficult. I would think top on this, you come probably this middle diamond down the rail, come on the other side of the 5. Yep.
It's
Just
a
don't wanna
good
get behind
hit.
that 7. Oh,
Yikes. I think he's got enough of a look to not be too obscured by the 7, but he got the angle he wanted.
mm-hmm. Yeah, he could play this with just a little bit of bottom, come off that rail. Yep, for that 6. A little bit harder of a shot, though.
I think he tried to hold it, and because of the distance, I think it may have been better if he actually put a little more power into it, so it would come off this long rail again and go back towards the middle table.
I think that's correct, yeah.
But at the same time, he wants to make the shot, so it makes sense that you want to be a little careful with it.
And this isn't bad either. If you miss this, you're going to leave your cue ball down at the end of the table. That 6 is going to stay down. It's going to be But he made it. That's a very good shot.
Ended up on the wrong side of the 7, but still makeable in the top right corner.
Yeah, this is one of those shots I walk up to the table and I'm like, I don't know what to do here. This just looks so sketchy for both sides.
Yeah, and the leave that you're going to get for the 9 ball is going to be a little tough. Unless you can really draw into this and get some action off of that rail.
Yeah.
You're kind of going to be left with a long 9.
Yeah, this is definitely... This is going to be the shot right here, for sure.
I don't really like the overcut because you're hitting it so thin on that side. But I think he's going to go for the overcut.
Yeah, I don't like putting it in the top corner. Just with... Okay, not bad.
Got a decent look at the 9.
Yeah.
But this is just a straight follow on this one.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, come off that top rail, down the table, take that 9 into the bottom left corner.
Definitely not a gimme, but the line's looking pretty good.
Mm-hmm. I feel like this is one of those shots that really tests your mentality in the middle of, you know, this match. See where you are.
Yeah, if he executes this with position, I would say...
He hit that pretty confident.
Got
again,
a friendly
little-
bump. Friendly bump on the 7.
Still shooting a little harder than I would. However, it does seem to be working for him. You think just go up to the top left corner?
I like it. You can either take this on top left corner, or you can bank it to the top short rail and bring the cue ball below the 9.
Mm-hmm.
This is like a safety that I really like to practice because it comes up so often.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't have to hit this hard, just sort of slow bank it. Yeah, just like that.
Alright, looks like that cue ball leaked out. However, it's not...
Yeah, and he doesn't want the 7 out that far. He definitely wanted to stick to the top rail within like 2 to 3 inches. So just a little too much speed into that one. These rails react very nicely. So
Yeah.
it's a little deceiving if you're not sort of used to that sort of bank safety.
Yeah, it turned a difficult shot into a very makeable, especially to get position on that 9. I mean, you don't have to overthink this shot, really. It's a pretty natural angle to get back on that 9. As long as you make this 7 with a little bit of follow.
I think he might be reverse banking this.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was trying.
Yeah. He's pretty keen on the reverse banks, which I like that. I love reverse banks.
Look at that leave on the 9 too.
Yeah, he got perfect shape from the 9. So if he would have hit it properly, it probably wouldn't have been as good of a leave, but it would have at least put him in the neighborhood of the 9. So this one, you could reverse bank the 7 to the second diamond on the right side and send the cue ball to the left and sort of hide it behind the 9.
Yeah.
And just do a rail-to-rail safety. So I'm interesting to see what he does here. It's kind of a soft touch. Again, you don't need too much power. This looks pretty decent.
Didn't hide it, however, got the same effect.
Yeah, but this is actually a perfect V bank now, right into the side pocket.
Yeah.
So if Mike can stop shot this bank, he's looking primo for the 9.
He's also been very good at banks this match, so we'll see if he can continue his streak. All right, confident.
Drew it out a little bit, but he's going to have a look in the side pocket, so this is pretty good.
Yeah, just float this into the side pocket. Don't have to overthink it. Yep.
Yeah.
Great out.
He's feeling pretty confident.
Yeah,
That's for sure.
Shooting very, very well.
I mean, he's missed a couple shots where it seems like he may be rushing a little bit, but yeah, the 1-2 punch there, so looking pretty good. Extends his lead now, 3-2.
And with that, it shifts the odds to 68% for Michael.
Yeah, and those odds will get pretty crazy every time somebody wins a rack, as there are less racks to sort of have leeway with.
Mm-hmm. All right. And again, it is winner breaks. So we'll see Michael get back to the table. This will be his fourth break.
Yeah, he's won 3, so this is his 4th.
Yeah. Because he did not win the lag. And we'll see. Both players have been making at least one on the break. However, that one ball has been the bane of their existence each time. So we'll see. We'll see if they change anything as we get later into this match.
Yeah, I'd like to see the 1 go like that towards the side pocket. But now he lost control of the cue, so it seems to be one thing or the other, which is unfortunate. As soon as they nail down the break and the leave on the 1, I think we'll see quicker run out here. But
that 8 drops, so it will be Michael to shoot again.
The 1 does go by the 6 in the upper left corner, so the only risk is hitting this too soft and kind of being muddled behind the 6. I think I would take this on, though.
Yeah, I think I would hit it with a little bit more pace, just to make sure that I don't hide myself when I come back out for that too. But yeah, I think I would definitely, and I think Michael showing he can be aggressive.
Decides to do the exact opposite of what you're saying because he heard you. No, it's a good safe, though. I mean, he definitely wanted to be obscured more, but even this is going to be interesting for Alex to take on.
Yeah. I don't know if he declared a push or not, or if that was just a defense.
I don't think he would have pushed that. I think the only time you would, you really don't want to push when you have an open view on the ball.
Right.
Right.
Well, I did against Georgie, and I paid for it. But it looks like he's gonna. What is this? A jump? Looks like he's gonna jump around the 6 or possibly masse it really heavily. Jumped, and I can't tell if he looks like he made contact with the 2.
Yeah, I nudged the 2 a little bit there. So Mike rewarded for his safety efforts. This rack's looking pretty good.
Yeah.
In terms of the run out, I don't see any problems. the 5 to the 6, so you can just come back across table. So
All right. Pretty straight on that too.
if he can cheat the pocket a little bit and just draw it down, he'd be in pretty good shape, and he would find the correct line for the 3.
Oh no.
Unless,
Oh no.
yeah, tragic.
I think that's what he was trying to cheat the pocket, and he just came too close to that.
He didn't get enough draw on it. You know, he hit with bottom, but the cue ball didn't actually react and come backwards. It still kind of took the tangent line on the 2.
Yeah.
So I think if he would have pulled it with a little bit more draw, it would have landed above on the outside of the 6.
Right.
Gonna have to go 2 rails here.
Looks pretty.
Whoa.
Oh
Missed it by a millimeter.
my goodness. Yeah. That's always the worst when you have a good idea of how to run this table and then just that one shot. So Alex is going to get good position to come back for that 4 ball.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
that was, I mean, it was obvious he wasn't going for the shot, but moving the cue ball forward with your tip in a push like that, it's technically a stroke.
Yeah. They play it fast and, loose over here at Ox Billiards.
Ref. I would not have taken ball in hand there, but if someone were to, you can't really fault them because that is the rule. So
opted for a fall. Looks like he's gonna.
I don't think he wanted that much follow.
Yeah, that.
I think it was one of those things where like you knew you needed to follow, but he hit it so good that the follow just
So just suffering from success.
yeah. Just kept going. But he's got the 4 in the lower right corner, so this isn't too bad.
Does that go past the 5?
Yeah, it goes. The only reason I know that is because I've seen this screen numerous times.
There's no way.
There's no way. This angle's crazy. Yeah.
Well, that's a great shot to get on the 5. That 6 is in a little weird place now, especially with. I can't tell. There might be a little bit of an angle to get back to it, but it's.
He wants to come out a little bit more middle table, kind of shoot this cue ball to the left, his right, but it's so straight that it's going to be kind of touchy here. Decided to draw above it. Brilliant.
Wow, that was very good draw. If I had tried to do that, the cue ball would be at the next table.
Because it flew off the table?
Because it flew off the table. Not because I shot through this one.
Yeah, just scooping.
So very good drawback to take it down the table. Be on a good side of the 7 as well.
Yeah, he hit that draw pretty sweet.
Definitely get some finesse points. All right, good shot. Now he's just got to close out these last 2.
Just stun off the 7 and leave the cue ball close to that diamond there. Yep. Should be pretty good.
Yeah, I would say just if you're stunning, put a little bit of bottom right on it. Looks like might not need it. Oh, he's just very lightly playing. Gave himself a little bit more angle.
Yeah, that's fine too.
Yeah.
Get away from the rail. Make sure you're not just planted on it. All right, so he missed the last 9 that he had a pretty good look at, so just needs to hit this one good. Don't baby the 9. I feel like there's sort of a tendency to let off your stroke. But with this angle, just let it in. Yeah, that's good. Just like that.
Okay, we're tied 3-3. Very good back and forth between these two players. Great shots on both sides, too. Great shots.
Yeah, they're both playing pretty good safety game and taking the run-out opportunities when they're given. So, yeah, this one's going to be pretty tight. Thank you all again for joining us here on Ox Billiards YouTube. My name is Zach Ross, joined here in the booth with Bree Clark.
It's always a good time to be here. It's exciting to watch these players. You know, it's great to see how their mentality works, what they think, and it's just a great match. We'll see if Alex changes his break at all, or if he's going to stick with it. Like I said, both players are making balls on the break. It's just that initial first shot is always supremely difficult.
Yeah, imagine he lets off the stroke a little bit here. Yep.
Yep, that
Perfect.
was a much better
That's
break.
perfect. One in the side pocket.
Got the 8
Either
and the 7.
Yeah, the 8 in the lower left. He can take the 2 on the side here if he wants. It's going to be kind of
I think, does it go past the 6 into the corner? Because I would think that would be almost like a stun shot that.
Yeah, it might barely go by the 6 in the corner. Yeah, he's really just trying to shape up for the 3. If he takes the 2 on the side, I think he runs the risk of being hidden behind the 4.
I think if this was me, I would probably play this really soft into the corner with just a little bit of left English to try and kick that 4 out of the path.
Mm-hmm.
Or try and clip it or something. Wow.
That was clever. I wonder if he meant that. Where's the headshot? Is he shaking his head? Is he smiling?
He's got a very calm face.
I mean,
going.
otherwise that was sick. I mean, look at the position too. He doesn't have to do anything here. Just
incredible.
play straight middle on this. You fall between the 5 and the 6, and you take the 4 on the side.
Yep.
Like, this is great. This is like a true example of just don't overthink this leave right now. Yeah, it's perfect.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah, the fact that he manufactured a run out from that too, that was super smart. And also with a wild 9,
Yeah.
you know?
I think just a little bit of draw on this to bring it out for that 5. Yep. Then you have that 6 to get back to the 9. That's man, what a shot on that too.
I think I hit this with follow to come back out.
Yeah, I feel like if you were trying to stop shot this, you'd end up more down the table than you'd want. So yeah, follow looks good. Yep.
Needs a little more zest on it
A
though.
little bit more zest.
Yeah. Yikes. That's unfortunate because this is such a good rack. He might be able to bank this, and if he does, he's going to get pretty perfect shape on the 9. So I think at this point, just go for it.
I mean, why not?
Yeah. Just confident bank here.
We'll see if he opts to play a little bit safer, though. But I'm almost wondering if he's trying to cut this.
I don't like the cut here.
Yeah, I don't either. No, he did it.
Cue ball got away a little bit, but, 9's definitely makeable, so he's giving himself the opportunity.
All right, he's had this is his 3rd hard shot of this rack to close it out for a break and run. Let's see.
And I think maybe he opted out of that bank because he kind of was looking in the side pocket and didn't want to flirt with it.
Yeah.
So I understand the reason to go for the cut.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
This is one of those examples where your opponent does all the work for you and you get to take home the prize.
Yeah. Pretty easy cut shot into this. Oh, that's... Well, that is 9 ball.
Yeah, that's 9 ball, baby. Yeah.
Oh, so Alex probably feeling that. We'll see if that affects this game going forward, but it is now a 4-3.
Yeah, I don't think he should be too disappointed. He played some really good shots, got some good leaves. So if anything, it's just knowing that when you get down to the last 2 balls, you really need to be in line more than anything. Yeah, I think if you start thinking negatively about, oh, well, I missed the 9 ball, but you don't remember all the great shots you had before that, then it can start sort of clawing into your game. But
yeah, staying focused is definitely key in this, and he has some incredible shots. That 2 off of the 9 was exceptional, and then getting back on the 9 from that 6.
yeah, the 6 cut was really nice too.
Yeah.
So Mike's losing the cue ball again here, and it's going to be
he made the 4.
and he has a look on the 1.
Right.
So
And this looks like a pretty open rack as well. If he can get this 1, that 2 depends on his angle, but I mean, to get on the 3, that's not too difficult. So this is definitely could be Michael's chance for his first break and run of the night.
I like the stop shot here, or maybe just a pinch of draw back. You will have sort of a steep back cut on the 2, but you can always cut across between the 5 and the 7.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I also definitely like the stop shot here. I don't think overcomplicating anything.
Yeah, he just needs to hit this pure and not powerful.
Looks like he's hitting this with a little bit of right, almost.
Well, he hit it with power, but he hit the pocket pretty nice. So this is actually what I was thinking the cue ball would be.
Mm-hmm.
Controlling this to the 3 is going to be
I'm
hard.
wondering if he can somehow stun this between the 7 and 9.
Yeah, I'm thinking he stuns it and it kind of runs across between the 7 and the 5.
Mm-hmm.
But you might clip the 5, which would actually be fine as long as you clip it above.
Yeah.
But the way he's aiming, it's like he's not even going for this bottom left corner, right?
He could be trying to put it behind the 6, but that was probably not what he was wanting to do.
Yeah, because now it's a wide open 2. I think he was trying to hide it behind the 6, which is weird because the 2 went in the lower left.
Maybe psyched himself out, seeing all that traffic in the middle of the table and just being like, this is just a higher percentage shot.
Yeah, and he was like, I don't want to run the cue ball into an object ball and then obscure my shot on the 3, so
yeah,
it was kind of a tight window to roll through.
Yeah, I think hiding it behind the 6 was definitely viable. He just needed to take a little bit longer to kind of plan that out. But now Alex has a good shot into the center pocket with a little bit of follow. Yeah. And
Hit the point.
Missed. All right, Michael counting his lucky stars right now.
Banks are open. It's a little odd.
It's a little zesty.
A little picante.
A little caliente.
A little fuego. Stumped her.
I'm just trying not to cackle into the mic.
Right.
So see how Mike plays this. I think there's a good defense here. Played it up the rail.
Yeah, he was going for the cut.
Yeah. Left another pretty open shot for Alex. We'll see if he can get this. I almost like playing this with a little bit of follow coming off 2 rails for the 3 into the side pocket instead of like a stun shot.
Yeah, it depends how much angle he has here. It looks a little straight, but I think to your point, if he can run it with a little bit of like top right to avoid the scratch and come off 2 rails, he'll be sitting better on the 3. Which he did. And he executed it nice.
Very nice. Yeah, now he just needs a little stop shot. Probably not a stop shot.
That angle's a little steep.
Yeah, I would just float this in then. Pocket speed.
And you could actually float this below the 5 and then take the 5 in the upper right corner.
Mm-hmm.
Because there is that window there, and I think that tangent line falls between the 7 and the 5, so just hit this smooth with follow.
Yeah, he looks like he's putting a lot of top on this. Yep.
Oh, he's going to fall between.
Needed a little bit more, but he still has...
Or a little less.
Yeah, or a little less. Just a little of something. He's got another very steep cut that he can try for. Otherwise, I mean, could potentially bank this, but yeah, that's not what he was wanting.
I think banking this down to the 8 and bringing the cue ball to the top rail is a pretty good choice.
Yeah.
It's a safety I've been messing around with quite a bit, and it feels good when you can get it. But he just went for the bank, and now he's going to leak out.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
So it looks like this rack, they're both showing a little bit more... They're not... They're showing their imperfections now. They're starting to not be as strict with their shots. They both have definitely overcomplicated some... Now he's going to hide himself. Oh. So it looks like he can see that 6, but definitely not the angle he wanted. What do you like? I don't like anything.
I think he's going to take the bank on, but I think a safety is possible here too. Banking by the 8, it's a tight window.
Yeah.
He might actually be cutting it down the rail.
See, I would think cue ball a little thick with bottom right.
Mm-hmm.
Push the cue ball up here, and then the
Yes.
6 ball laying pretty close to the 8.
Yeah, I like that too. But he hit it too hard.
Hit it way too hard. Now it's going to be another...
Open shot.
Yep.
So yeah, I think Mike hasn't quite figured out the bank safeties yet. I know he wanted to put sort of action on the cue ball to get it to go up table. But with that one, it's almost like you hit bottom and the cue ball will take the bottom up until the point where it's making contact, and then it kind of changes the rotation.
Right.
So it's kind of like a finesse bottom hit, and it's not necessarily power. It's sort of the speed and timing of the way you strike the cue ball. So yeah, try to safe there, but safety failed. Now Alex is getting an opportunity to run this out.
I think he's trying to stun this. Okay. I don't think he needed to go that far. I think he could have just played that 6 really soft and taken that 7 into the corner where the 8 is.
I think he should have just not played the 3 rails.
Yeah.
If he would have stunned off to the top short rail.
Yeah, the 3 rails was definitely an interesting choice.
Or just hit it softer and go 2 rails so it comes up with a short rail. But yeah, again, like Kyle's saying, he's fallen in between, so It's kind of back-to-back shots with the 5 and the 7 now, where he's fallen in between.
Well, if he makes the 7, it should be pretty good for the leave on the 8, depending on how hard you hit this. All right, looks like another pretty easy shot for Michael to clean up here.
Yeah, this is just up and down table.
Mm-hmm. Probably what? Stun shot?
I think if you hit with follow, like top left follow, it'll come straight off the top rail, and the cue ball will roll straight down the table. And as long as he gets to sort of the lower third of where the 8 is, he should be good.
Yeah.
But he is going to have to put some power into this. Yeah, just like that.
All right, good shot.
He clips the 9, but it's not terrible.
Yeah, it's steep, it's cuttable. It'll bring him up the table to get that 9 in the bottom corner, but definitely not as steep as he was hoping for. I think he wanted to miss that 9 completely and end up a little bit more friendly of a leave.
Whatever he does here, it's do not hold the cue ball. Do not hold the cue ball for this 9.
Yeah,
I would
no.
send this up and back.
Yep. That's
That way
exactly.
you're for sure hitting the 8 nice. Oh yeah, geez, he overcut it.
Yeah, I think that clip on the 9 really messed with him. Both players definitely, this rack specifically, they both they seem very uncomfortable with their shots now. It's starting to.
I mean, the game's winding down too, right? So
It
I feel
is,
like
yeah.
as you have less racks to get through, sort of the pressure can start mounting a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Because for Mike, it's like, oh, if I can get 5 now, I'm sitting pretty good.
Yeah.
But Alex sort of on the other end of that, saying I need to get this game 4-4.
Yeah. I think just floating this into the corner pocket, that way you're not overhitting it.
Hit it on the pro side, but
Oh.
hit it a little too hard. And yeah, this is the roll out the red carpet
Yeah.
sort of shot here.
Yeah. This is if I was Mike, I'd be very, very happy right now.
Yeah, Matthew pointing out that Mike stabbed at the 8. Yeah, he sure did. So I think the big takeaway, at least for Mike in this game currently, is to just address each shot as you would, even if it's a gimme.
All right. With that, Mike goes up to 5 games to Alex's 3.
Increasing his odds to 83%. I feel like even if Alex ties up the game now 5-5, his odds will probably be 38.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of weird. I think even with like a 12-point rating difference, the odds are still sort of heavily favored towards the higher rated player. But they both have preliminary ratings, so I think both of them are in the same sort of wheelhouse of Fargo rate anyway. But at the end of the day, it just matters how you play the day of. So,
Indeed.
as my friend Jared would say, anyone can get got.
Anyone. All right. So it looks like.
So he's letting the cue ball get away, but at least he has a look on the 1.
I don't know. That's tough.
He's taking off power on the cue, but because he's doing that and he's not hitting with enough bottom, the cue ball is kind of just rolling away from the rack. So I think if he wants to break softer, he needs to hit it with more bottom.
So it looks like Mike can definitely cut this 1. So I think that there's a defense potential here.
I like running the cue ball up to the top rail and then bringing it behind the 6. Oh, he hit 3.
Just another very hard shot.
That he kind of went into quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know. I don't know if it's like him uncomfortable with what the potential outcome of the shot would be, but it seems like you can kind of tell when he's like a little uncertain with what the approach is. Like he shoots a little bit faster. Whereas when he knows like I'm banking this into the side, like his composure and sort of stroke is a bit more like intentional, if that makes sense.
So Alex left with a kind of a sketchy shot. I like the defense here, pushing that 1 more towards the 5 and hiding that cue ball behind the 6, or even just leaving it kind of like a rail shot. It looks like he tried to...
I think he went for a bank, maybe?
I thought he was trying to go for the combo on the 6, the way that moved. Either way, it was a good leave. It looks like he's left it pretty good behind that 7.
So like Mike knows he needs to kick this, right? So he's getting down. He's calculated here. But he hits it too soft.
Yeah.
That's not going to catch a rail.
And that's a pretty more or less open table. That 3 is a little weird, but it's far enough away from that 4 to where you can definitely do something with it. I would almost think take this 1 into the side with angle, play a little bit of bottom, and try and get in between that 7 and 4 right there.
Yeah, I think there's a couple avenues you could take. You could run the cue ball to the top rail, and you have that sort of angle between the 7 and the 4. Or you just try to land between the 7 and the 4 on this short side here, like this.
That's great.
But
oh, no.
Yeah. So I was thinking if you go top rail off of it, you have sort of a bigger angle on the upper side of the table between the 7 and the 4. Because going the way he did, you have the potential of overrunning it. Now, if you hit it harder and he comes off that rail again, he's sitting pretty sweet for the 3. So again, it's just it's making the decision to find where your leave is, but then he's falling in between on his speeds. So choosing the best speed for the angle that you need is something to dial in a bit more.
It was a good contact on that 3. Didn't make it, but still, it's...
His jumping's been pretty good. He's been making contact with the ball. Gonna get a friendly roll here.
Very friendly. Now, does that go off that 7 to the side pocket is the question. I
think it goes.
I think it does too. So it looks like he's hitting this with a little bit of right English. Push that 3 ball closer to the center. He overcut it. That's impressive, and he might... Okay.
Now he's going to leave it weird, though.
Yep.
So I suspect Alex makes his 3, and then his cue ball will barely clip the 7. The window is definitely, it's there, but I feel because he's on the rail, he can't quite get as good of cue ball control that he would want. So if he runs into the 7, it's not going to be great for the 4. The 4 is a little too off the rail, and he can't run the 4 down from where the 7 is. So
yeah, this is tough.
He ends up hitting the 6. Caught it much thicker than I thought he would.
Yeah.
So now he is going to have to... I kind of like the cross bank here.
A little cheeky cross bank.
Yeah. I think the cross bank goes as long as you don't hit the point. Because then you're swinging the cue ball around. And I think the cue ball would roll between the 9 and the 6 and get back out middle table.
Going center ball.
Oh, he went into it.
So
it's not a bad safe.
Similar to where Mike left him, just that 4-ball being out of the pocket a lot more. But still that weird cuttable angle. He could make this into the top left corner pocket. And try and figure something out with that 5. Or he could cut it in the side. I think that gives him more options for that 5 if he cuts it in the side and comes up and down the table.
But he's trying to put bottom on this, so if he cuts it into the side, he wants the cue ball to come off the right rail and maybe back towards the 5.
Unless he's trying to stop shot it. Yeah, I think he was just trying to stop shot it and get on that 5 in the same corner. And
It's an okay outcome. The bank is on.
has
But
Alex,
so is it safe? So
has Alex gone for banks this? And Michael's making quite a few. But
I think he might have went for a long bank, but I think you're right. I think he sort of tends to go for the safe.
yeah. He did make that Z jump bank. on
Right,
the-
yes.
So he is 1 for 1. But yeah, it looks like he's opting for that. Looked like that maybe have been a 2-way, but
Yeah, but 2 ways on this table,
yeah.
you got to hit it much softer.
So another right in front of the pocket for Michael. This is his 3rd one. That momentum kind of died out on that shot. I don't know if he wanted to come back up the table a little bit.
I think you just aggressively go for this. Cut it
Yeah.
up. Cut it up the rail. Yeah, he tried to, but just hit it too thick. I mean, he's perfect on the 6, but Alex will take the same shot.
You think just a little bit of bottom left, bring it out.
Yeah, I mean, you don't really need to put much on this. As long as you put even a little bit of left, you're going to get the position you need for the 6.
Mm-hmm.
I would err on the side of caution with left, just because the line could come back towards the side pocket, which he handled pretty well. Didn't get enough angle, I don't think.
Yeah.
It was a little too back and forth.
So another steep cut to get on that 7. Of course, this is not bad to get on the 7 just because of the natural follow with the cue ball. Probably wants to come back 1 rail. So rail, and then come back out. Yep, just like that. And then this will...
Hit this with a little bit of top left.
Yep.
Like 11
Yeah,
o'clock
push
maybe.
Push it towards the pocket. You don't have to kill it. I would say probably this is so steep that you're going to have to hit this thin. So I would probably hit it harder. That way you come back off the bottom, because if you try and hold this, you're going to end up below the 8.
I think if he hits it with left, though, it'll curve the momentum, so he should be able to stay on the top side of the table. But yeah, it's sort of a dealer's choice here.
Yeah, I think it's whatever he's feeling comfortable with. But
But
yeah,
to your point, yeah, it is rolling back down here.
It's that comfortability of, okay, can I hold this shot? I mean, you have to be very precise with it, but it is definitely possible, which not a bad leave.
I'm calling the bank on the lower left here for Mike.
I mean, go for it.
I mean, is it the right choice? I don't know. I would say
Well, depends
maybe.
on your definition of right, I suppose.
Yeah,
Is
and
it the cool choice?
It's absolutely the cool choice. But the cue ball here, if he goes for this bank,
It looks like I like to think that he went for the bank that you were talking about and just hit it on the wrong side of the 7. I think it was such a far shot.
yeah,
Because he definitely seemed very confident in that shot. So.
yeah, I think he just misjudged it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking he would take the 7 in the lower left corner, because it did go by the 8.
So another steep cut, kind of similar to his last shot. We'll see if he hits this a little bit harder. Yeah. Oh,
He's losing the cue ball and
no.
scratching too. That's a bummer.
Uh,
Just misjudged that one. I think if he wanted to come back down table like that, he actually needed to hit it with right.
yeah.
Like 1 or 2 o'clock, so that when it came off the top rail, it would hit like the second or first diamond close to the pocket and then hit the short rail and come back out
Yeah.
middle table. But because he caught it so perfect with the tangent line, it just ran to the top rail and into the corner. And that's a shot that I think I've been stabbed by that shot so many times that now it's just baked into my memory. Like, you have to throw some sort of outside on it
Yeah.
because it's just going to run straight back down in the pocket. So it's unfortunate. I think this is maybe the second or third rack that Alex is sort of
I think it's the third.
has
that,
gimmied to
yeah.
Mike here. We're just giving him the 1-2 out or the 1-2-3 out. So yeah, Mike, first one on the hill here. But honestly, I feel like it's just the mistakes at the most inopportune moment. You know, I mean, Mike's made his mistakes too, but they haven't been as costly.
Yeah, I think it's really got to wear on your mentality during the game too. You're thinking, oh, I've already missed what 2 nines now at this point, and then the third to last ball to give your opponent 3 games. Like that's hard. So we'll see if Alex can hang in there and bring it back. But Mike is looking pretty good right now. He's still. I still think he needs to work on his break, but
Which is wild because his break last night was pretty good. So I don't know if he's like changing things up. Oh, he miscued that one. So yeah, this is gonna be a push for sure. It's just like, yeah, his break for some reason just isn't as comfortable. Maybe he's trying something different, but if that's the case, should not be trying something different than what you're used to when going into a match. But push out here from Alex. I like pushing the 7 towards the 5. Again,
Okay.
tying something up.
yeah.
Because you don't want to just push sort of blindly or push into an open shot. I really like to tie up something here if you can. He may even consider sort of, yeah, I like the 7. I like pushing the 7 out.
Looks like he's not pushing it towards the 5 though. He might be just pushing, just into the rail.
If he wanted to push it into the rail, he should have blocked the 5 into the lower right corner with the 7. But now it's a wide open shot, and if Mike can dig in on this, and draw it out, he'll be pretty good on the 2. And he's got it.
Great shot.
And he's not got it.
He
God, that extra roll.
he had it.
Yeah, he did.
That
That's such a difficult shot to judge because you need the power to get back.
Yep.
Because of the distance, but man.
So if he kicks at this, I think come around the 3 for the 2 rail back into the 2.
Yeah, and
I think it was just too much.
yeah, your call was right. The 2 rails there was the right shot. Because that way you're hitting the 2 on the bottom side, you're sending it towards the 5. Kind of leave the cue ball around the 3, 8, 9 area.
Mm-hmm.
But unfortunately, try to go 1 rail. Ball in hand now to Alex. So I think Alex needs to wash his memory of the last rack and just pretend this is rack number 1. Start getting to work here.
Honestly, to connect this table, it's pretty easy. The 2, 3, 4 are super close, and then that 5, you have to make sure you're not behind that 7. So definitely, Alex can close this out for sure.
This is
and get back
basically
into
like
this.
3 follow shots in a row here.
Yep. He just needs to not overthink it.
Follow this one to come off 2 rails and kind of land next to the 7.
Yeah, you just don't have to kill it. Definitely less is more here. Because even if you don't come off that second rail, you'll still have that 5 down the table that'll leave you really nice for the 6 into the side.
Yeah, the 6 to the 7 and even the 7 to the 8, if you have to swing the cue ball 3
Yeah.
rails to get on the 8 into the lower left, be looking pretty good. But yeah, just a nice little follow here. If he lands flat on the 5, I think that's totally fine.
He just needs to not... There you go. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, he opted for a little bit less. Still makeable, still workable. But definitely wanted to come off that rail a little bit more. I'm trying to figure out where this cue ball ends up.
Yeah,
Because it's gonna get close to that 6.
yeah, it plays a little bit of draw. You'll probably be okay. Oh, you decided to run it.
Oh. So, Mike with a chance here.
Yeah, he's looking pretty good here. If he makes this 5, he's going to land. Unless something atrocious happens, but he'll land pretty good on the 6.
Might be... Okay, so he's switching hands. He has been
Oh,
shooting right-handed.
let's go ambidextrous.
Yep. And very good leave.
He's going to have to swing it now, but that's not a problem because the 7's sitting pretty wide open. You can almost hit it from any angle on that side of the table.
Do you think going 3 rails?
Yeah,
Just follow?
Yeah.
Yep. 1, 2, 3.
hit it too hard.
Yep, sure did.
Yeah, and again, though, he got down and just shot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he knew the angle he wanted, but he just needs to take, like, that little extra second because you're hitting it thin. The cue ball's going to want to naturally take anyway. He's getting lucky
Look at
here.
the Z-bank.
Oh, here we go. Truffle cheese.
A little cheddar.
A little truffle. A little truffle cheese here for the win.
Little melty provolone. Some smoky.
I think he's going for it.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, why not? You're on the hill.
You're up 3 games.
You're gonna close it out with
Oh.
style. Okay. Left Alex a pretty good shot into that side.
Yeah, it's a little tight, but it's there. Yeah, just wants to leave himself where he pointed. So there's a little bit of a follow here. Try and close the deficit.
We'll see.
This is high pressure shot here.
Yeah, this is extremely high pressure. You thinking that if I miss this, I'm done. That 9's not even in a difficult place. Yeah, it looks like he missed it.
On the way it hit the point too. Because if at least it hit above the pocket, it would send the 8 ball more towards the top rail. But because it hit the point, now it's just sort of adding a little insult to injury there, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think Mike is going to be thinking, all right, where do I need to leave this cue ball?
And the 9's so good that you can kind of leave it anywhere around here.
There it is.
Yeah, so opts for the draw and take on the longer shot. But I mean, when the 9's there, you can
When
kind
you're
of do
making
anything.
that 8 like that and with the long shot, you're feeling confident.
Yeah, that was a beauty.
All right.
Strokes it for the win. So Mike Liao here, 7-3 win over Alex. I don't think the scoreboard doesn't really... I don't know.
It's,
like,
it felt like so much closer
yeah.
than a 7-3. I think Alex had some extremely, extremely good opportunities, and he just kind of fumbled at the at the end there.
Yeah, and Mike wasn't giving him sort of the same chances, or at least the same sort of run out chances, where it's like a 2-3 ball run out there. But yeah, so Mike Liao victorious here, 7-3 over Alex Buzak. Thank you all for joining us this evening.
Yes, thank you.
Hit that like and subscribe. Ring the bell as well to be notified when we go live. We'll have another match coming up here on July 9th. It's going to be a Scotch doubles match. I will be playing with Tim Del Mundo, and we have Jared Johnson and Larrick Salonga. So it'll be
a very good game.
10 ball race to 9. So going to be switching up the formats.
I would love to see Larrick in those colorful shoes of his.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, it's going to be great. It'll be a good
Has
time.
the style.
Yeah. So thank you all for joining us. This is Zach Ross.
And Bree Clark.
And, yeah, had a wonderful time. Y'all have a good evening.